Hey everybody, it's Wheel Trouble, and I want to get this ride season started off right and go ahead and start it off with a product review for you guys. Now, last year, for those of you that were paying attention, I picked up the Kawasaki Versus from Kawasaki and Suzuki of Stillwater. Extra special thanks to those guys, and I finally got this bike out of the break-in period, which is wonderful. But I have a sport helmet. Don't get me wrong, it's great for highway use, and I'll still use it for that. But for adventure riding and off-road use, I don't want to go busting up my sport helmet. So I started looking for adventure helmets, and first thing that came across my mind was Z1R. I'm happy with the other one I have, so why not go ahead and stick with the brand? This is their Range helmet. Let's go ahead and talk about it a little bit, and then we'll go into the actual meat and bones of the review. First things first, the manufacturer touts the polycarbonate shell. It's also scratch resistant. If my SV is any indicator, it's going to hold up fine. That held up to bird strikes. We'll see how this does. It's got to hold up to a little bit more, or I'll have tree limbs and everything else. We also have multiple configurations. We have fully loaded. You can pull off the visor to give it a street look, or you can pull out the front visor to give it a dirt look. And we'll talk about those a little bit later. We also have the drop-down sun visor. After owning one, I will never buy a helmet without one. It's like crack for your eyeballs. It's wonderful. It beats having to carry around extra visors or sunglasses, things like that. And we'll kind of go into that a little later as to why I'm starting to get kind of picky on that. We also have the removable washable liner, which should be standard in all helmets right now, but it's not. I don't know why. We have dual density foam. We'll talk about that a little later as well. It is also DOT and ECE. Never get a helmet that is not at least ECE or Snell. DOT doesn't mean too terribly much. Even Walmart sells DOT. So anyway, let's go ahead and get into the meat and bones of this review. For the purposes of this review video, I'm going to basically just cycle through the perks, add my own cons, and then call it good. And we're going to actually just go through the manufacturer perks because they're the salesmen and that's what they feel most strongly about. Let's start with the ABS polycarbonate, scratch resistant, probably part of Iron Man's suit shell. Okay, I'm exaggerating on the last one, maybe a little. It's not carbon fiber, it's not fiberglass, but this also isn't a $500 helmet. This is a bargain helmet. I don't want to say bargain helmet because it sounds cheap. It's not, honestly. But it's also very pocketbook friendly. So, sure, I haven't taken this through the woods. I don't have the ability to speak to this helmet specifically, but I do have its little kindred spirit here, and it has not led the best of lives. Sure, it hasn't gotten knocked around off-road, but at 55 miles an hour, I took a turkey vulture to the chest and part of my face, and held up fine. That was actually right after filming one of my Kansas rides, and so if you're actually paying close attention to the video in question, and I'd have to cycle back to see which one it is, you can actually see the little flock of turkey vultures that I managed to hopefully take out one of. I really hope that bird died after the hell it put me through. But going back to it, if it was able to take the bird strike just fine and everything else, and as long as you don't go cleaning all the bug guts off by brute force, and you're actually rinsing off the visor to get things soft or using a hot rag, you'll be fine. If you're going off-road, I advise rinsing the visor off first. It's removable, so just take it off, run it under the sink a little bit, and then wipe it down. That way you're not putting in microabrasions, and you'll be fine. I think that's absolutely wonderful. They can tout that all they want, and my Strike Ops has held up great too, so I feel confident saying that, yeah, it's scratch resistant is at least what I would consider good enough. Now, we have the different configurations, and let's go ahead and, just so we don't have to stare at that picture anymore, let's start cycling them. And so you can see all the different modes, and to kind of really just throw it over the top, we went ahead fully loaded and still managed to put the goggles on. That's because for the visor, they went ahead and actually put the cutaways there in case you're really being lazy. Honestly, if it were me, I would still go ahead, pull the visor off, and just put on the little pieces and make it look right. But if you forgot your tools, if you forgot the extra little panels, then this is an option for you. I want to know what you're doing riding adventure without the tools with you. We might have to talk about that in a later video. But anyway, the versatility on this helmet is absolutely great. I love the styling of this helmet too. I don't like blank helmets. This comes in black, matte black, gray. Used to come in white, but I'm having trouble finding it. Also comes in high-vis yellow if you're afraid that you're not going to be seen. The good thing is, even though I hate blank helmets, I think that this still has a nice, aggressive look to it. And so it doesn't need any graphics, really. It looks good on its own, and I actually have no problems with it as is. So if you want to add decals, you can. You don't have to. Then let's see, we have the sun visor that I did say I will never own a helmet that doesn't have one, and I do mean that. I never will. After having the Strike Ops SV for as long as I have, for a little over a year now, yes, in the sport bike position I was tucked and looking straight through the visor. It was great for that, sure. And now that I'm on the Versus, I'm sitting bolt upright, and I'm really having to deal with that complaint that I mentioned in the Strike Ops SV, where it's right here. I also noticed the Range is going to suffer from the same thing. We put it on a little test head, and the little test head had the same problem, and I'm sorry I didn't get pictures of that. The test head had some objections, and I have to respect the test head, otherwise it's going to start asking for money. We don't want to do that. We're on a very low budget here. Please sponsor me. Links below, or something, comment below. Anyway, so I'm going to have that as a gripe. I do like the placement, since it won't get in the way of goggles, but I also hate the placement because it gets in the way of my communicator. I can't use a clamp. It's right here, which is right where your communicator goes, and sure, both Cena and Cardo have the little collar now for one line of their many lines of communicators. This means I'm going to have to break down, stop being a whiny little, oh right, I'm putting this on YouTube. I can't say that, can I? I'd have to stop being a little bit whiny and go ahead and break down and put the adhesive on. Now the adhesive is going to basically end up going right where I would put the goggles. That's okay, the adhesive mount is fairly flat, and while using the goggles, I can go ahead and use, since I'm using Lexan, which is really cheap, I can use the little clamp that they have. It's just a little alligator clip, so it works great. And it's plastic, or it's got a rubber back to it, so it's not going to damage anything. It'll look just fine. And just tap it to the goggles and we're good. So not really a complaint there. It's just not what I would have wanted to do. But again, given the compromise, I think that's an okay compromise to make. Let's see, we also have the removable washable liner, and this should be a standard feature on all helmets. I really don't know why I'm mentioning this. So what I will say is, if you are a helmet manufacturer and you are manufacturing any helmets that do not have a removable washable liner, please get out of the helmet manufacturer business for the hygiene of the rest of the planet. Thank you. That's all I'm going to say there. And then we have the DOT ECE thing. And again, DOT means nothing to me. It's the ECE that I cared about. And you have two options. You can go ECE or you can go Snell. I'm really glad they went with the ECE. The dual density foam thing is a big factor here. And you have a hard layer and a soft layer. The soft layer is going to take your small impacts, little pebbles, tree limbs, things like that, whereas the hard layer is going to take the concussive forces that would have knocked you unconscious. Hopefully. That's the whole point. And I'm not going to test one to find out, but based on my experiences last year, I think I'm in good hands. Or foam. So anyway, let's go ahead and kind of end the video there with my final verdicts. Time for the final verdict. Will this helmet actually make it into my collection? We need to talk about it a little bit. It's an adventure helmet. It's not a perfect helmet. But let's talk about what an adventure actually is. Any seasoned rider will tell you a good adventure ride never goes according to plan. You have to be ready for almost everything. And the Z1R Range pretty well does that. And it does it very, very adequately and elegantly. Sure, I didn't like the placement of the sun visor toggle, but let's really discuss where they could have put the toggle. Could they have put it where they did on my SV? No. The goggle strap would have been in the way. And they designed this thing fully stating that it would be able to accommodate goggles. Okay, where else were they going to put it? They couldn't put it on this side because that's your throttle hand. Okay, so they're stuck putting it right here. That's it. That's the only option they had. I can fully respect their decision. I can't come up with a better spot myself. Okay, so that left me having to figure the communicator thing out. Well, the communicator's not Z1R's problem. It seems kind of dickish to hold it against them. That was the only gripe I had. And okay, it's a blank helmet and I hate blank helmets, but they styled this thing so neat and aggressively in the multiple colors that it comes in. You've got black, matte black, gray, which you see here. You've got high-vis yellow. And I went with the gray because it actually looks sharp. You can see all the little accent points. Black, you wouldn't see it so much, but you'd be able to put on your own decals and things like that. So you can still get a lot of good look out of this helmet. If you're not going to do much in decals, I would go ahead and probably pick up the gray personally. I think it just looks sharp. And this is all at a $130 price point. It's $129 and change MSRP. The nearest other competitor that I found was the AFX. And don't get me wrong, AFX is a fine helmet, but it was $160, $170 compared to this. That means that Z1R could have charged $150. Instead, it's $20 under that, basically knocking the floor out from under AFX on the price point for what they're doing. And it's a great helmet. So yeah, I'm looking forward to trying to add this into my collection. I've just got to find a way to squirrel it into my budget, so please sponsor me. I'm always looking for channel sponsors. I'd be happy to list you basically on every video that is not a video game video. So I'm going to end it there. We'll see you guys next time. I've got some things to discuss about this channel and the direction it's going to head. So for now, Wheel Trouble out.